My name is Javier Munoz, and this is the What Brings You Here podcast, where we spotlight remarkable people changing the world one epic project at a time. And today we're thrilled to introduce to you Kevin El-zarka. He's the visionary founder of Tailforge, a company that has created an AI powered application that allows children to create interactive stories, taking storytelling to a whole different level. And specifically, today we want to talk about Kevin's participation in an event called Shift that was organized by Lovable. I don't know whether you know about Lovable. Lovable is an AI company that is allowing you to turn text into a fully functional application, really unlocking any idea that you had locked inside and turn it into an application. So this is becoming a revolution. And in this case, 10,000 people signed up, and in the case of Kevin, he had an epic run in this event with the help of the application and a thriving community that provided support and mentorship. He was able to persist and keep working, and he took that application of his all the way to number two in the global ranking. An amazing epic story that I'm hoping is going to be very inspiring to you. And for those of you that are finding inspiration in this story, I invite you actually to participate in the next edition of Just Action. As you know, we have a program that allows you to connect to your purpose and turn it into a viable, profitable product. And that is now enabled by these types of applications, such as Lovable. So we want to make an edition dedicated to Lovable and all these kinds of new applications that are enabling us to express our ideas in a new, wholly different level. And with that, my friends, let's turn to Kevin's story. Right, Kevin, welcome to the What Brings You Here podcast. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation, and it's an honor to have you. We have you because you did something epic, and Just Action is all about creating epic projects, and we wanted to know about your journey to this epic project that you created. And very specifically, we wanted to know what brought you to that epic project.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me and for a beautiful introduction there. Um, I'm honored to be here, and it's been a wild journey since all of this began. Um, what brought me here? I don't know. Like 7, 8 weeks ago, I was studying to be a property technician, and it's not really what I want to do. I just feel like I had to keep going doing something, and then I was just scrolling on a Lovable with a project, and my curiosity took me to the shipped button. I signed up for it, and weeks later I got invited, and I started building on Tailforge, and my imagination just took over, and I just felt like I could really be myself. I could really use my imagination. I felt like I could put like who I am into what I'm building, uh,
Mhm.
and I feel like it got very appreciated, my honesty and me being super open about everything. And it got me basically, obsessed with, just wanting to keep continuing,
Mm.
showing who I am, show my imagination, and finally let it uh, be used for something.
Yeah.
So this is Tailforge is just like it's deeply personal to me, and it's a reflection of how I think, and it's a reflection of me as a person. Um,
What is it that makes it deeply personal?
um, First of all, it's as I said before, like I feel like I can put my mind and my imagination and how I think and how I feel, I can just put it into Tailforge. the
Mhm,
design and how the AI works and how everything in there works. Like it's all based on me, you know.
mhm,
And then I have 8 nephews, so I'm always around children, always. And I've seen like during the past years how AI is evolving so much, and it feels like kids are getting left behind, like in this AI world.
mhm,
So I figured like my imagination, and I have nephews and all of that, so I wanted to make something for my nephews and for myself, and that's how Tailforge became.
mhm. And then, well, what are you getting from your first users? I guess your nephews are, right? Your first users. What
Hmm.
what what feedback are you getting? Now you're probably the favorite uncle.
I am. I am. I was before as well, but and we're a big family.
Yeah.
No, but no, they love it and they think it's super cool. They're not into this whole vibe coding thing, so for them, it's not just that I made something that they enjoy using. It's that they think it's super cool that I'm building something like in the first place. Um,
Right.
but yeah,
So
they love it, so they're using it every day.
you said several times that this is an expression of who you are, right? In what ways is this expressing who you are specifically?
Me personally, my entire life, I've been have like I've had a hard time, like uh, placing myself, like where do I fit,
Mhm.
um, and I've had the different jobs and I've always performed the best that I can, but there's always something that makes you it doesn't feel right. I can't express myself completely. Uh, this job doesn't let me use my full potential. Uh, and Tailforge has, like, when I started with all of this, like, I've been able to really, really express all of me and everything that I want to do. Uh, so I've been working almost since this began. I've been working 16 hours a day. Like, I don't sleep, nothing. I just want to, it's obsession in a
Mm,
way. And it's an amazing feeling because all that obsession have paid back as well, because I've been getting so much good feedback from the community. Uh, and with the Lovable Shipped program, we every week we turned in our what we've done during the week, and every week I got some feedback and I listened to the feedback and I applied the feedback. And the week after, people got super excited and super happy that I actually listened, and that gave me even more good feedback. And so it became like uh, a circle. Like, they told me, I did, I got a good feeling, and it just kept going like that. So it's essentially the community got me keep, like, they made me want to do this.
Yeah, because sometimes these types of projects are very lonely, right? They are very lonely endeavors where you come up with this idea. It is a transformational idea for you. Then you start. But if you're not in a support system, it's very hard because once you get into that one challenge that is really hard to overcome, it's hard to really keep the energy up. And then self-doubt settles in, and there might be, a lot of reasons to leave it behind. And so I think a lot of projects that are good potentially are left undone because you didn't get that support that you did get in the community. So
Mm,
that's one thing that I think they did really well, and it was great that you made the
absolutely.
best of it. One thing is to have an idea and imagine what the idea could mean for the people that you're trying to help. That's one
Mm,
thing. But another very different type of energy is when you see the target audience for your application, for your solution,
mm,
be in love with it. And
yeah,
that is what really, catalyzes you into another stage of motivation. And
absolutely.
I am wondering whether you felt that at some
I did.
point in this process? And if you could explain, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I ever since week one, I felt it. So a little backstory to that. So first week, when I posted Tailforge and we got our first rankings, I was ranked first in on the leaderboard, and I was so happy, and I could not believe it because like it felt like that's the highest accomplishment of like it's a global competition in the fastest growing tech company in the world. Like it was unreal to me,
Yeah.
and it felt weird but good at the same time that people actually liked it so much. And then week two came and we got some bad news, and it was that there was issues with the leaderboard, and there had been some inconveniences with the scoring system, and so they had to make it fair for everyone. Like they've solved it kinda, but to make it fair for everyone, they decided to not have that score to be uh, count towards the competition. So they
Mm.
nulled everyone. So everyone was back to 1,000 score. Uh, and then for week two, I ranked 56. So for me, it was like I went from first place to 56th place, and I was devastated. Like even, I mean, so many participants, but I was first and then back to 56, and that uh, I don't know, and I felt like giving up at that point. I was like, but I was first. I wanted it that spot, and not because of I wanted to be first in that way. It was like I felt like people are seeing me right now,
Yeah.
and it was a good feeling. And I felt like this. I can use this, to build traction, not to become famous or anything, but to prove to people that uh, I'm not just what my resume says. You know.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yes.
And then week three came, and gradually I started climbing up. For week three, I ranked 20th place in the world, and then for week four, it was like just gradually climbing back up, and then I ended up on rank two globally. And the entire reason for that is because of how this application made people feel and how this made me feel. So we kept bouncing back and forth. Like I put in so much time, and they acknowledged all the time that I put in, and that gave me more fuel to continue. And then um,
Mm-hmm.
so I was living on a high during this entire thing. And then after the pitch day, after that was done, I felt my body just relax, and I got so tired. I slept for I don't know
Mm.
for so long, and I didn't know I was that tired until after the
Yeah.
pitch.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
So let me explain you. I see that there is a lot of this energy that's coming from the community, and I suppose that the ultimate test is when children start using it. And so I hear that your nephews are doing that. Maybe that's one video that you could show, right?
that'd be
Seeing,
amazing.
yeah, seeing your actual target, connecting and interacting with it, with the value proposition, and with their comments. And I'm sure that many will be funny and tender,
Absolutely.
I'm sure, so you have witnessed that already because you've seen your nephews interacting with it. I We are, I think, all eager to have a sense of how that is. Of course, protecting the privacy of everyone
Yes,
as it should, but to be able to connect with the actual impact that this will have would be a wonderful validating element. And so I know you have seen it already, but has that been also important to you?
of course. The validation is super important. Like and seeing my nephews actually use it and giving me actual validation is it's incredible to see. And I have plans on like I'm planning on releasing or making a video soon enough, with a backstory, like a founder's story about me, how this all started, and maybe include a clip or two of my nephews, because all of this, like competition or not, uh, I honestly, to me, this is not about winning or not winning. It's about me evolving, um, and being able to share my story. So yeah, there's a video coming anyways with where I'm gonna have a backstory about me and all of it.
So, what aspects of that backstory you haven't said yet in this podcast?
Mm. It would be. I mean, I think we covered most of it. It's I was just a regular guy, looking for a purpose. I l- I had like a normal job, and and I was studying and all of that, but as I said, it didn't fill my purpose. And then another very important note on all of this is the fact that, like, I am actually, like, I have stage fright for real. Like and then me at the end of all of this standing in front of 8,000 people and pitching. It was even if the pitch itself, I'm not entirely happy with it, but uh, there was many technical issues, and then on top of all of that, in the middle of the pitch, my mother was here, so she was watching the YouTube on the TV, like the where it was being streamed, and she didn't realize it's a delay between the live version and the. So when she heard me starting speaking here, but she didn't see me on the TV, she ran into the room behind me while I was pitching and was like, Kevin. So it was so many stressful moments during the 2 minute pitch. When I jumped in, my slides didn't show up, and my timer started. Like, it was chaotic, and I felt like I wanted to hide. I just wanted it to be all over,
Yeah.
um, because I had put in so many hours in practicing all of it and practicing the questions, and I didn't feel like I could. The stress took over, so I couldn't perform what I have been training for.
You know
Uh,
what I think is this was the first edition of this program. The next one will have improvements, and one of them should be that the pitch should be pre-recorded, and you just
mm,
simply launch the pre-recorded pitch, and that's it. You don't do it live. You do a pre-recorded pitch, you maximize the quality of that pitch so that you are sure that you delivered exactly what
mm,
you wanted to deliver. They show it live, right? And you are there, but you're there only for the questions,
mm.
you know.
I,
That would do it, because you were not the only one that had that problem. There were other people that
yeah,
probably you saw that had similar issues. The thing is that you were one of the first people, right? So your perception was that this was happening to you in a unique way, but this actually happened to other people down the line. So
yeah,
that
but
those things will be improved. And by the way, you're gonna do many, many, many pitch decks in your life. And it gets to a point. I don't know what your plans are. We're gonna get to that in this podcast, but it gets to a point that you what you do is you just imagine yourself as if you are doing this on a daily basis,
mm,
and it gets to a point where it's just like brushing your teeth,
yeah,
literally. Yeah, you don't think of it because it's already so automatic. You already know everything that you want to say. You already have energy and passion for it. People perceive this. By the way, it doesn't really matter if you stumble on a technical thing. It doesn't really matter because people can see through and see when someone is passionate about what they do, number one. And second, whether or not they worked really hard on it.
yeah,
And all
yeah.
of that is coming through 100%, every time. By the way, the pitch that you did record, that one is perfect. I absolutely love the way it's produced with the music, with all the
Thank you.
visuals. I mean, that works. By the way, it works really well. So, when sometimes people are too hard on themselves. And I think you are a bit too hard on yourself in this sense.
I mean, the
So,
first day I was absolutely. Um,
mhm.
so you continue. I interrupted you.
No, no, no. I'm just saying you are too hard on yourself. So defend yourself.
Yeah. All right. So the defense, yes. When it happened, I was actually so disappointed. I took all credit for all for the feeling that I felt like,
Yeah.
and I was bummed out. But later, like same evening, early that morning, I was actually very happy that it all happened that way.
Exactly.
I was happy that I didn't deliver 100% and that I didn't deliver it as I planned to deliver it, because what happened instead was I got to stand in front of 8,000 people, and the everything that could go wrong went wrong. And I still stood there and I still performed my pitch and I still answered the questions, even though I felt like I wanted to run away.
Mm,
And the day after, I actually felt proud of myself for doing that, because uh, I have like actual stage fright. Like it's the worst feeling for me.
yeah.
And a fun story about that: when I was in university, I took a course to. It was for people who have stage fright, like
Hmm.
so for presentations and stuff like that. And I quit that course in the middle of it because it was so hard to speak in front of even those people that have the same feeling as me. So I quit it and I
Yeah.
didn't finish it. So yeah, and all of that applies to Tailforge as well, because uh, as I said before, Tailforge, yes, like the target audience, it's parents and children, but the entire thing of it is like uh, I'm evolving as a person, and I want people to know me as well. I want people to, uh, when they see Tailforge, they think of me as well as a person, and that even if you have stage fright and all of that, like you can do it. Just push through. And I'm sitting here on a podcast. I have stage fright, but I know I have to do it. I have to overcome
Hmm.
my fears.
Of course. Well, in the end, this is, as I said, Kevin, like a conversation, right? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, you should be relaxed in this case. But yeah, I mean, look, this is definitely a vehicle for you to get uncomfortable, because it is only through that discomfort that you grow.
Mm,
And eventually, I can assure you, you will overcome this, because if you do it enough times, you'll get very good at it. There is one thing that I can tell you that helps, which is when you are expressing from a loving place. Yes. So the moment you connect from the perspective of, I'm going to express to you from a loving place what I've done, which also is coming from a loving place, it's very hard to have a space for fear. It's very hard to have both things happen at the same time. So when you are standing and you imagine in yourself that I'm going to be projecting, expressing, discussing from a loving place within me, then that is the number one way to derail any sense of fright.
mm,
Especially when you are sitting with integrity, in the sense that everything that you're doing it for a positive outcome, in with the intent of solving a problem that you're passionate about and that you have worked really hard at. So that credibility is there immediately. The other thing is, when people perceive that from you, you also feel it. Yes,
mm,
you feel is a mirror, right? So if there was any sense of judgment, that is subdued also, because you're coming from a place that is vulnerable but
mm.
true, and people recognize that immediately. So there are many other techniques naturally, that can be articulated. But this is the number one. You know, if you connect to the love of what you do, that's 80% of the way.
mm. I do believe that what you're saying, like I think with time it's gonna get easier, I'm gonna get more used to it because it's like you say, like this entire thing is uh, it's not something I'm trying to sell. Like, it's real, like it's authentic, authentic, and it's coming from me, so I know it in the back of my head because it's taken from the back of my head.
It's
Um, so yeah, I think it's based on previous experiences. Like I'm a person who I am afraid of, saying something out loud and then having it being wrong, which is also one of the reasons for example, on my application, I still haven't released any paid subscriptions because I want it all to be perfect first. Like even if I could set up subscriptions and take money for what Tailforge has to offer right now, I want it all to be safe for children first of all. Like implement safety measures and all of that. Like there is, but it could be better. I want to make sure everything is running smoothly because I don't want to disappoint people. I don't want to set it up all now and then within a month people are not happy with the service. Uh, so I don't know. It's all about me. I want to deliver 100%, and I want everything to be perfect when it's delivered. And that goes for both my application. It goes for the words that I'm saying, like when I'm speaking publicly.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah.
It makes all the sense. Look, that in itself is an expression of love. That which you're telling me is an expression of love right there. You want for things to be safe. You want for things to be under control and correct. You don't want to for people to have a bad experience. All of that is an expression of love.
Mm,
So from that perspective, if you feel it, you're already free. There are people that don't feel that, man.
mm,
So it is already you're already winning. So once you are at ease with that sense of harmony within that, what I'm doing, my purpose, what I'm saying, what I'm thinking, and what I'm doing is in connection, has integrity, and then you said another word, which is authentic. Yes, is
yeah.
authentic. So truth and love break any sense of fear. Yes,
Mm,
when they are living within you and you're aware and you're sitting on it. Yes, you feel that you are consciously in that mode, and that's when you're at ease. But you do have to, like, we have a technique ourselves. We call it the love suit. The love suit is like an imaginary look. Since you like imagination and like
mhm, mhm,
magical things, it is like a magical suit that you would cover yourself on. Yes, which has love in it. Yes, it's the love suit. That's why we called it that way. And I'm telling you this because I am a facilitator. I go and I speak to hundreds of people and I facilitate programs and I do alignment situations, more than just being a speaker, I get people to speak.
mm,
Yes, that's what a facilitator is. So I have to be on stage. And what we did, me and my co-facilitators, was before getting on stage, we would put our love suits on.
mm,
Yes. And
mm,
so this love suits, it's like a collective sense that we are coming from the right place when we are on that stage. We are already prepared. We worked really hard to be there. We know what the client is hoping to get. You already know that yourself. You know what you want to offer. You have worked already very hard for it. Um, so there is a moment where you have to say stop. Yes, I'm
mhm,
ready. I'm ready and I'm going to express it. And when I do this, you put your love suit on and you say, okay, everything that I am, everything that I came here to explain, my intentions and what I know to be true that is happening is coming together right now, and I'm not nervous anymore.
Mm.
But you do have to say this to yourself and
I think so
imagine,
too.
yes, and imagine that. Imagine that you're doing this and have this come into your consciousness, into your top of mind, and then feel it as if you're sitting on it and you say, okay, I am in this position. Could I be doing better? Yes. Could this be improved? Yes. But at this very second, I'm doing the best I can. And I am with you from that perspective. And that's it. Because look, you could have people come at you and question you or judge you, or people that didn't like the experience. That's going to happen. You're doing a B2C product, you're going to have people that have a different opinion as to what should be the
Mm.
application. That's going to happen. There will be a percentage of that. So that cannot be a source of resistance for you. You have to be able to overcome when there is a person judging or resisting or complaining, and knowing that you're doing 100% what you can from a place of responsibility to really achieve the objectives that the application has. Does
Yeah,
that make sense to you?
it makes sense completely. Um,
Mhm.
and it is like you say, it's all about reminding yourself of why you're doing it. And for me, since Tailforge genuinely is a projection of me as a person, and that I genuinely have a purpose for it, it's all about reminding myself about why I'm doing it.
Exactly. You remember there was a person in Shipped that was always asking about why are you building this, right?
Mm, mm,
And so if I were to ask that question to you, I know that you have already answered that this is a way of expressing myself. Yeah. But what is that part of yourself that is being expressed? Is it the magical sense of possibility? Is it the opportunity to generate that dream world for kids because you didn't have it, or because when you had it, it made a difference? Can you explain to me a little bit more profoundly the real core why
mm.
this is expressing who you are?
Um, I want children to be able to, really, really express themselves as well, because I
Mm,
feel like uh, children rarely has control over stuff. Like they usually, like, everything is set, like you can do this, you can do this. But
yeah.
with Tailforge, they get to actually decide. They get to feel that they are in control. And that's a feeling I've wanted my entire life, to be in control of stuff that happens.
Mhm.
And I feel it's healthy for them to feel that early on, in a very controlled way. Like, because Tailforge, when this goes out officially for children, this is going to be very controlled and restricted, but at the same time give them the feeling and sense that they can control what happens, the outcome. They can control the story.
Uh-huh.
uh, and then you can go into another layer of this, and connect the story to you as a person. Like, you decide your seeds, your branches, like, should I go left or should I go right? uh, and that
Okay.
applies to life as well. So I think all of it combined together, with images, with text, with getting to choose where you want to go. It's deeper than just an application. It's a way for me to express myself by building it, but also a way for children to express themselves.
Beautiful. I mean, I really connect to this idea of autonomy and sense of control because it's one of the three main levers of happiness. Uh,
Absolutely.
and one of the things is when you feel in control of your life and your decisions, and you're telling you can tell yourself a good story through those decisions. That is one of the fundamental,
Mm,
sources of happiness.
mm.
So yeah, that's
And
great.
and also like when it comes to, it's not easy to express your feelings for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think that in story, it makes stuff easier. It makes it easier because you can express your feelings in story.
Mhm.
A story can, tell who you are as a person.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I think it has all of it.
That's it. You just said one very important point. When you are able to make those decisions and tell a story which reflects who you are, what you are creating is self-awareness as well,
Mm,
potentially. And self-awareness is probably one of the most important things that we could develop, hopefully from early on. And if you make that link of connecting kids to a sense of self-awareness of who they are through the stories they tell, it could be amazingly powerful.
mm,
And I'll give you just an example of this, which I do also with my kids, by the way. Um, when they were younger, I would talk about values a lot, by way of stories, precisely. So I would tell a story, and I would say, what made that story possible? Well, that the person was very courageous. Okay. So do you value that in that person? Yes, I value the courage in that person. Okay. What else was possible? Made it possible? Well, because that person was very generous in, the character of the story that was telling. It was very generous. Oh wow, yes, that's great. Yes, and do you value that in a person? Yes, I value generosity. Okay. Would you want to express generosity yourself? Yes, in your own stories. So when in your case, self-awareness, I'm just like brainstorming with you at this point.
mm,
Self-awareness could be like, tell me three words of what made the story possible that you created. Yeah. What are three words that would describe what made your story possible? You
okay.
know,
Mm,
rephrasing this a little bit. Uh,
yes,
and
yes.
and imagine, there are three words in the screen and you pick one of them. You as a kid, I mean, it's one of the children. They did the story. You identify through Gen AI, you identify three values that are embedded in the story. And you present those values to the
Mm,
kids. It
mm,
is a way for them to say, what is courage? What is generosity? What is integrity? What is, because some of these ideas are very abstract.
yeah,
So, but when you tell them through a story, then it's easier to understand what it means, integrity, what it means, because you start saying, well, this is the definition, but in the story, this happened this way.
yeah.
Okay, so that is self-awareness. That is
Mm,
self-awareness because then they start to really understand what is that they want to express themselves as people
yeah,
as they grow. Yeah, that could be one of the most amazing byproducts of your application.
yeah.
Self-awareness and connecting to a feeling of, oh, this is who I am. You know,
Yeah.
does that
It's
does that
a strong feeling.
resonate?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And since you're speaking about just that, and uh, Tailforge, like recently, the latest update that I released right before the pitch, it was character creation. So you can create your own character, and that character you can pick the name of it as you want, and you can also add personal traits to it. So is this person courage? Does it have
Exactly.
courage? Is it curious? Is it smart? Is it, there's hundreds of things you can choose, and you can add your own, and then you can decide if that character is the protagonist, or if it's a companion, is it? And then when you start generating your story, before you tell the AI to, okay, start generating, you have an option to add that character into your story. So they select the character and up to three characters, and these characters are going to be included into the story, with the traits that they have selected for them.
Wow,
And that
nice.
way they could build themselves, if they feel like they're courage people and courageous, uh, and smart, and all of that. They could have themselves in the stories, or someone they look up to, or you know so
Exactly.
it's
That's it. I mean, this is an awareness generation machine for children.
yeah,
Yeah, and beyond just the creativity, oh, it's absolutely really powerful. So congratulations on that. There is one thing that also resonated from what you said that I want to bring some light to it, which is that you have yet to offer a paid product and to put, to create a paywall and start receiving the energy. And and I respect your position, by the way, 100%, because it is a very important point that you're making to make sure that it's safe and that the stories that are generated are within those guardrails, right? And there are many ways in which um, it there could be situations that are unpredictable that generate uh, risk. So I understand how that is important. But one thing that you have to do is to define when it's enough and when you're
yeah,
ready. And
yeah,
you have to put it on paper, right? You have to like even put a metric to it. Maybe there are some events that are hallucinations. Maybe there is a percentage of hallucinations that occur that you don't want, something like that. If that's the case, put a metric on it and a disclaimer, in terms of service,
yeah.
and as many guardrails as possible. But at some point, you're gonna have to jump in the water. Before we go, I wanted to ask, what is that you need at this point? What is that you're looking to do where you need help?
What I need now is, I need everyone with children or an interest to create their own story to go to Tailforge and test it out, try it, uh, give me feedback. There's a dedicated feedback button inside Tailforge, and everything genuinely helps, because it's the feedback that builds Tailforge, essentially. So yeah, please try it out, register, and wait for the full release.
Tell me the ages. From what age to what age you think this is good?
4 to 12.
4 to 12.
And then if you're an adult with a child sense, it's fine for you to, like. I usually sit and use it as well. Like, it's,
What is excellent? Yes, I'm gonna check it out, man. All right, that's fantastic, Kevin. You're an inspiration to many people. Congratulations on this epic journey to create this amazing application that's going to be a gateway for expression. And I think there is a lot more in store for you coming up. So I would love to keep in touch, and
absolutely, absolutely.
if there is anything I can do to support, I will definitely try from Just Action. Now I want you to know ahead of time that your story is going to be super inspiring to everyone in our community. So thank you for doing this, because that in
Thank you for
itself will be a ripple effect on its own. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you to Lovable for arranging this and making it all happen. Uh, and all the support I've gotten, and all the people that have supported me. people on LinkedIn that actually reached out to me that doesn't know me, but still built made me feel like I have a personal connection to them.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, it's been amazing, and I'm looking forward to what's next.
fantastic. All right. Keep in touch.